Queen, growing up, I can recall writing journal entries on purpose. And sometimes we can find ourselves confused and searching in our lives. Can you relate to desiring to control your attention so that you could choose your life? If so, you're in the right place because today I'll be sharing on just that. And I also invite you to attend my webinar, which focuses on mastering conflict in relationships for personal and professional growth. Now, when it comes to control, we have the power to control our conversations, our education, and adaptation. And I'll break that down a little bit more. So, when we think about conversations, often we can just think about verbal conversations. But we live in such a hyper connected world that there are so many voices speaking to us directly and indirectly. I mean, there is TV, there's radio, there's family, there's friends, there's social media. I mean, there are a lot of ways that communication is taking place and it is impacting our lives and our mindsets. And the thing about it is, if we are exposed to wrong thinking, that where attention goes, energy flows. So anything that we are focusing on is having an impact on us. So I want you to truly think about the people that you have in your life. What type of conversations are they having with you? What type of ways are those conversations actualizing in your life? Because if you're not paying attention to it, you could subconsciously be living your life in a way that you don't really want to or intend to. Because the things and people we give our attention to shapes our lives. And that leads me to education. You see, when it comes to education, I'm not talking about school here. Now, I know that school is a good thing, but I'm talking about life learning. So, as you think about your life, how much time or how much money or how many resources have you contributed to growing yourself? I mean, personally, what have you invested in developing yourself? Because you see, too often we can desire to be, do, and have more, but we are not becoming, we are not doing, and we are not having more. Because oftentimes, what we can fail to see is that to be, do, and have more means that we have to become a different version of ourselves. And if we don't readily have that information, those insights ourselves already, we have to put them in ourselves. So, what inputs are you putting into you to become a better you? Think about it. Because if you're not doing this, then you can live your life in such a way that you are not living the type of life that you truly desire. And I'll use an example. When we think about the GOATs per se of the sports world or entertainment or maybe even influencers, we see them and we admire what they can do and how they show up. But often we don't stop to think about the investment they are making in private to get those results that we see in public. And the same can be said for very influential and powerful business owners or seven figure or billionaire earners. They are doing things that average people don't do. And so those results show up in their lives. And we have access to the end result. But what we don't have access to is what they're doing behind the scenes. But their behind the scenes plays a major part in why they live the life they do and have the results they have. So I know when you think about education, like I said, you can think about school. But education should be something that you are focused on for the entirety of your life. And that leads me to adaptation. You see, again, when you hear the word adaptation, your mind can drift off to third grade or fourth grade science class. I know. But the thing with adaptation is this, it's much bigger than that. We adapt habits, we adapt mindsets, we adapt attitudes, and the list goes on. There are so many things that we can pick up along the way on this journey of life. And sometimes we pick them up due to proximity. And I will use myself as an example here. Growing up, there was lots of yelling and screaming when people were upset. Can you relate? Let me know in the comments below. If in your house, yelling and screaming when people were upset was normal, or even maybe at family gatherings when people got upset, they were fussing and cussing. Let me know. I want to know. But for me, that was normal. So naturally, for me in my young adulthood, I took that mindset with me. It's not something that I intended to take with me. It was just a kind of something that was caught due to proximity. And I remember very clearly screaming at this guy I was talking to at the time. And he had a choice. He could have chosen to do the direct opposite of what he did, but he did not. Instead of screaming back at me, what he did is he called my name as I turned to walk away softly. And then as I turned around, he grabbed my hands and he just held them. And as he spoke, these are the words he said. He said, "You know, I hear you, but when you yell at me, you make me feel like a little boy. I didn't ask you to repeat yourself because I wasn't listening. I ask you to repeat yourself because there's so much noise around and your voice is so soft. I wanted to be sure that I was hearing everything you said." Let that sit in, sink in. And that was a game changer for me. That was a game changer for me because in that moment, what he did is he let me know you are heard. And I don't know about you, but when I'm speaking, I want to be heard. Again, in the comments below, let me know if you can relate to that. Because I definitely felt unheard. And so he shifted my mindset with how he showed up. And so now, no yelling in my communication, even when I'm frustrated, is something that I live out. Yes, in my intimate relationships with people, I make it a point to prioritize them and how they feel and do so in a way that is calm, because I know that that can have and change the trajectory of the relationship and the conversation. So that lesson there is twofold because, like I said, it shifted my mindset and it showed how you can show up with intentionality to change the state and standard in your relationships. And I'm not going to keep going because I'm pretty sure right now you get the point. But keep these things in mind. Your conversations, your education, meaning lifelong learning, and your ability to adapt or maybe unadapt some things, some ways you picked up in life can change the trajectory and foundation of your life and your ability to control your attention and choose your life. So understand, applying these foundational principles in your life will equip you to control your attention so that you can control your life and focus on living your best life. As always, I'm Coach Sam telling you that 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours, you can change your life. So go ahead and do something life changing now.